Hollywood is basically that one rich kid in school who throws money at every problem. From blowing stuff up to building entire worlds from scratch, the movie biz doesn't just break the bank, it demolishes the mint. We're diving into the most ridiculously expensive movie scenes ever filmed. And yeah, some of these cinematic flexes didn't even make it to the final cut. So buckle up, we're heading straight into the deep end movie-making madness. 10. Brooklyn Bridge Collapse, I Am Legend. To blow up the Brooklyn Bridge, I Am Legend didn't just throw in some CGI. They went full apocalypse. The team brought in the actual National Guard, 1,000 extras, and a 250-person crew to create disaster in one of the New York's most iconic landmarks. All for a flashback scene. End of the world vibes delivered. The price tag? $5.5 million. That's what happens when you shut down parts of NYC and blow stuff up like it's a 4th of July barbecue with no budget cap. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Gritty, bleak, expensive, just like Will Smith's therapy bill after talking to mannequins for 2 hours. Michael Bay looked at one of the most tragic moments in US history and said, yeah, let's make it explode beautifully. The result? A full-on practical effects masterpiece featuring real planes, fire, and boats blowing up in water. No green screen cop-outs here. It's Bayhem at its most historically questionable. This one scene alone cost $5.5 million, and honestly, it shows. Critics absolutely nuke the movie for being a melodramatic mess, but even the haters had to admit, that bonding sequence? Insane! Planes diving, ships sinking, fireballs lighting up the sky. It's a war scene turned action movie fever dream. Say what you want about the plot, but this scene was cinematic overkill in the best way possible.
Let's talk about Bryan Singer's 2006 Superman Returns.
They filmed an epic scene called Return to Krypton where Superman flies back to his destroyed homeworld. It was moody, spacey, loaded with nostalgia. Deep space vibes and starry sadness everywhere. But guess what? Warner Brothers said nah and chopped it from the final cut even after spending a wild $10 million to make it. Yep, they dropped that much screen on a scene that never even hit theaters. Honestly, it might have been the best part of the movie and they just let it go. You can still find it in the DVD extras if you're curious. 7. DDay Landing, Saving Private Ryan. Now let's talk about one of the most iconic war scenes ever put on film, the DDay Landing in Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg wasn't playing around when he dropped this emotional grenade in 1998. This wasn't just a scene, it was an all-out sensory assault. Veterans who saw it literally reported traumatic flashbacks. That's how real it felt. Filmed over 4 grueling weeks on Irish beaches to recreate Normandy, this 20-minute sequence is a non-stop masterclass in cinematic storytelling. The cost? Around $12 million. Between real-life explosives, hundreds of extras, gritty realism, and Spielberg's signature attention to detail, this scene alone drained a huge chunk of the budget, and it was absolutely worth it. Film schools still study it. Fans still talk about it. 6. Highway Chase, The Matrix Reloaded. The Wachowski sisters said, why fake it when we can just build it? So they literally built an entire highway in California for one 14-minute scene in The Matrix Reloaded. Just the highway, $2.5 million. Then came the layers of stunt training, expert driving, cars getting obliterated, practical explosions, and enough digital enhancements to make a CGI sandwich. The final cost? Somewhere between 10 and 15 million. And it shows. The slow-mo, the ghost twins, that truck flip. Iconic! Neo doesn't just dodge bullets, he dodges the entire concept of financial restraint. 5. Flying Bus Swordfish. This one's nuts. Remember the early 2000s cyber thriller Swordfish with John Travolta, Halle Berry, and Hugh Jackman? There's a scene where a literal bus is airlifted through Los Angeles by a helicopter. Sounds fake? Nope, they actually did it. No CGI, no green screen, just real helicopters hauling a real bus midair. Throw in aerial camera work, intense stunt coordination, and insurance costs that probably gave the studio exec heart attacks, and you've got $15 billion spent on one gravity-defying moment. 4. Junkyard Showdown, Transformers: The Last Night. In Transformers: The Last Night, the Junkyard scene didn't just feature robot-on-robot carnage, it burned through $15 million in a matter of days. 10 full days of shooting, giant CGI-heavy Autobots and Decepticons, mountains of rubble, pyrotechnics everywhere, and of course, Michael Bay's beloved
360-degree camera spins and slow-mo walks. It's loud,
over the top, and exactly what you expect from a Bay production, and somehow more. Fun fact, if you tally up all 7 Transformers films, the production costs hits a jaw-dropping $1.2 billion. 3. Ship crash, Speed 2, cruise control. Think Speed 2 was just an unnecessary sequel? Wait till you hear how much they spent crashing a fake cruise ship into a real port.
Sandra Bullock came back, but Keanu Reeves wisely ghosted the franchise.
And instead of a runaway bus, we got an unstoppable cruise ship. The climax? A 300-ton full-scale replica ship smashing into the Port of St. Martin. For real, they built actual storefronts at Marina Visage just to blow them to smithereens in spectacular fashion. Final cost, $25 million. Ironically, that scene got more applause than the rest of the movie combined. 2. Rome Car Chase, Spectre. This one belongs to Bond, James Bond. In Spectre, our suave spy cares to Rome like it's his personal racetrack. Aston Martins, high-speed chases, and real explosions included. They shut down parts of Rome, yes, even roads near the Vatican, for days.
The ultimate power move? Using limited edition, one-of-a-kind Aston Martin DB10 in multiple Jaguars.
Some of which got painfully but beautifully wrecked. The total tab? Somewhere near $32 million, factoring in cars, permits, and all this like night shoots, all for a few minutes of spy thriller mayhem, and it slaps. 1. Neo versus the Smiths, The Matrix Reloaded. You'd think the most expensive scene ever would come from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Dune, Avatar, but nope, it's The Matrix Reloaded again. The glorious showdown between Neo and a swarm of Agent Smith wasn't just ambitious, it reinvented visual effects. Warner Brothers sank over $40 million into this scene alone. They didn't just stretch CGI, they rewrote the book on it. Entire new technologies were developed to create photorealistic cloning and bullet time choreography. Every punch, flip, and trench coat swish was digitally rendered to the tiniest detail. And for a movie that already cost $125 million, that's saying something. Did it deliver? You bet. Which of these scenes blew your mind the most? And what's a movie moment you think might have cost too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you're into this kind of behind-the-scenes chaos, and don't forget to subscribe to First Curiosity for more juicy Hollywood deep dives.